Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for VG Gaming versus CDEC. CDEC taking that game 1, and this is the Summit 6 Chinese qualifiers. My name is Hades, joining me my co-caster Danelie. Hello, ready for game 2?
I am ready. What I'm not ready for is potentially having Discord bug out, so hopefully it's going to be a-okay for this series, or this game.
Oh, no Drow. So VG Gaming, respect Van Drow immediately. Don't want to play against that CDEC Drow.
I don't think anyone wants to play up against what CDEC had last game. So just showing respect. This is to be expected from VG. They don't want to go up against Drow shenanigans. Doesn't mean there aren't other heroes for CDEC to pick up, so we'll see what they decide to go for. Now, Slaughter, first pick here for VG Gaming. This hero, we see him, we see him frequently, but then we don't see him frequently. So it's like, I guess in the middle sort of thing. But he is such a great hero for helping heroes scale earlier and later, just because you're going to have access to amplified damage. So already VG picking up this ladder, not really hinting at too much as of yet. Obviously, minus armor is going to be the name of the game here. But for CDEC, they have a Keeper of the Light as their first pickup, which I found rather interesting. Do teams normally pick Keeper first?
Sometimes they do, because it deters you from wanting to pick Timbersaw. So in such a situation, it could force VG to pick up Timbersaw, or sorry, ban Timbersaw, just so that you don't give it away to CDEC. And alright, so yeah, I mean, for the Slaughter, like you said, it's always a reliable pick, and Chinese teams do really like that Slaughter, and that could actually go well with a Lifestealer, Sven, and CDEC with the second pick Kunkka, the 50% damage reduction in the Rum.
You can tell VG they already want extra eyes. Like, they've got two heroes that are able to reveal where CDEC could be coming from. So you've got amplify damage and track. So it's as if they're telling CDEC, hey man, Fog isn't your friend anymore. You're going to have to fight us face to face, or we're going to easily kill you. Like, that seems to be the case here for VG.
Yeah, and like I said, you know, they do ban out the Timbersaw because Keep of the Light. Mana Leak can be a really, really bad spell, especially when you're playing a Timbersaw. You don't want to play against that. And Blinding Light as well can be really strong, and if Keeper of the Light ever gets to the level of an Aghanim Scepter, that's where you realize, okay, wait, something's wrong, because that's where you're next thing you know, this crazy amount of heal in daytime fights with the Illuminate can be really strong. You're missing your attacks, and I think Keeper of the Light's a pretty good pick here for them. But VG Gaming, obviously, they want to control the map better, make use of the Amplify and Track. We might even see the Lifestealer still come out nonetheless, but it's because he got banned out. They should try it maybe for Sven. I think it would alternate pretty well. Like, it's a pretty good option instead of the Lifestealer.
Yeah, I would agree. Sven is another great option instead of the Lifestealer. I think it just depends on sort of how you want to take that game. Do you want to have someone that's going to be running, you know, run in your face sort of hero, or do you want someone that sort of comes in from the sidelines? Which Sven, typically you want him to be in the very front, soaking up all that damage. So I think obviously you prefer the Lifestealer, but I guess Sven also fits that role. And it gets banned out, so no Sven. Rip.
So VG probably has something else up their sleeves. They could go for the Fish strat, which is really pulling this. Oh wait, Void is still available as well. Like, we might even see a Void safe lane. We don't usually see that now ever since his base damage got nerfed. Terrorblade. Other Chinese picks. I'm surprised that OD is still inside.
I'm thinking CDEC would want to be grabbing that Void. They've got two heroes that can benefit off the Chronosphere. So what's the plan here for either squad? What's going to be that third pickup?
I'm actually surprised that OD still managed to get, or is still available in the second phase. Because usually you see that as a first ban, but CDEC banning out Bat Rider, and we haven't seen any Bat at all today. So, VG Gaming. They could think about picking up that mid laner at least for themselves. Invoker's still in there as well.
Don't know if you want to play Invoker up against what CDEC has though. They're going to go for the Jug. Okay, this is a much safer option than going for the Invoker. And here we go. Face this Void, picked up the CDEC. You can already tell they've got two heroes that can already benefit from the Chronosphere, so this was more or less to be expected for CDEC. So I think one thing I sort of have an issue with for CDEC is that they've got interesting heroes when it comes to chase mechanisms in the in the mana drain and the X. I guess torrent also counts as well because the range for that's crazy. But they don't have traditional disables, like disables that are instant, that are on the spot where if you want to disable something there and then, they don't have any spells that can accomplish that. And I think that they might actually get punished for it. Because, for example, if the starter comes in and jumps onto CDEC, what do they have to disengage immediately? They would have to commit the Chronosphere. And that's a big spell to commit if your team is getting jumped on by a starter.
That's true, but that's where I feel the Keeper of the Light, you really need the Blinding Light to be there. I mean, at least you need to get a quick level 6. And don't forget, I mean, like I said, the damage reduction from the ROM, even just being there, just quickly getting it out, could be very useful in helping you disengage. But otherwise, CDEC will be looking to play the positioning game, since Vici Gaming will always look to be ganking, especially with the Slaughter and Bounty Hunter. And they even go with the Lion, so that's going to be, at level 1, that's going to be like, what, 2 minutes, 40 seconds, that's going to be one, at least, confirmed kill with the track, and you get the Slaughter out. So, I actually like the Faceless Void pick for CDEC a lot, because not only how much it brings to the team fight for the control, but also because, it forces Vici to pick up the Lion. Lion's just one with the double disable is a Void's nightmare. Because you don't have a DOT, you need to nuke him down, you need to actually chain disable him down. So CDEC now may actually alternate to see this Void go into the jungle just a bit, at least to get his level 2. And they will open up pretty soon with something. I actually see the OD going pretty good with the Faceless Void this game.
Yeah, we could see an OD here for CDEC. It depends if they want to go for OD or if they want to go back and pick up the Invoker that you mentioned before. Because Invoker loves Chronospheres. He's a hero that's able to throw countless spells into the Chronosphere, and if it's about to run out, you throw an Ice Wall. You can throw things to sort of keep the target in place for a little bit longer. So OD, Invoker, already 2 heroes that could be really good here. Unless they throw a curveball and pick up something crazy, which is Razor. Not a bad pick. This is a hero that can mitigate some of Juggernaut's physical damage just by tethering to him with the static link. Same can apply to Slaughter, especially if Slaughter has a really good head start. I think this is just CDEC wanting to secure their lanes because they're probably thinking that the Jug may be going mid lane instead of this last pick.
Well, it does avoid the Juggernaut going into the middle lane kind of thing. And at the same time, Razor you can fight really early. Plasma Field, and it's just CDEC's way of being able to siege if Razor gets to an Aghanim Scepter. So yeah, static Link actually got buffed quite a bit, where the range now is ridiculously long. So even against ranged heroes, you can steal that damage. It makes laning very, very difficult. CDEC taking out the Naga, you don't want to play against that, because the last thing you want to do is let VG drag this super late. And we all know the pains of playing against the Naga. So CDEC... Wait, Darkseer is still available, isn't it? They could actually still put the Void into the safe lane and go for a Darkseer, but they will go for the Legion Commander.
Okay, this is not what I expected. They don't really have the best synergy when it comes to Faceless Void Chrono outside of the supports and maybe a little bit of Razor, but this is an indicator that CDEC, they want to apply pressure early. So right after the laning phase is done where their Legion has 6, I would suspect that they would be actively looking for kills to power up the Legion Commander. I think Tinker's a really good pick here, just because the laser, it absolutely cripples a Legion Commander, especially during duels.
It does, and at the same time, Tinker against Razor, you're not going to get an edge. It's probably going to be a static lane, Jug, and I think it boils down to the Slaughter and Void this game. Like, these offlaners need to be the ones to decide, like, whoever gets their 6, and or for the Void, if you get 6 or Slaughter gets a blink, then either one of these teams will start to make their moves. Bounty Hunter, otherwise, ganking a Razor with a Tinker, that's actually still pretty okay, because they have so much nuke damage, and even with that level 1 passive for the Razor,
it's like the drafts. Yes. The drafts sort of oh god, I had the word in my head just now. They contrast each other, right?
Yes.
So you got VG with such an explosive draft with heroes that have spells that can burst people down quickly, Whereas you look at CDEC, they don't really have the quickest burst. It does come out eventually, but it's more or less for those really long, drawn-out fights where the torrent manages to land, then you've got the ghost ships to go through as well. So if anything, Vici, they will have an easier time applying pressure with these small skirmishes, whereas for CDEC, I think a lot of it falls back to February to get that early farm and to get a couple of really early dual kills so that he becomes a really threatening target versus Vici.
I'm just looking at the line. I was like, why does he have two, I don't know, weird things on his neck? And I realized that's just actually his cape. We seem to have a weird experience with weird cosmetics all the time. Remember yesterday that Ursa, which seemed like a level 1 in Rage?
Oh yeah. Oh, Keeper of the Light down bottom. October!
First
Outrun it
blood!
with his horse! That's not good enough. It's okay, folks. He caught first blood. And I think, if anything, this is the best hero to get it this early on. A slaughter.
Poor October,
That's when you know.
even despite being the quickest hero in the game. I think this is a pretty good Tinker game as well. Like, they don't really have much catch for him. Besides, unless you somehow get a lucky torrent or you commit a Chronosphere for him or a duel. And that's forcing out a lot. And you look at VG side, they have plenty of ways to demolish, you know, some other heroes quickly.
October! Oh no, he walks into Yang and DDC. He's gonna go down again!
Wait, what? Oh
He
no.
died. Okay, so what happened was our bounty hunter was standing right here, the Slaughter was here, and he was walking in this direction, and then October just casually walks into two heroes, gets crushed, and dies again. Oh, CDC. Poor October, man. He's probably thinking, what in the world is going on?
They just gave Yang his half level 1. He's already almost level 2.
This is such a bad lane to be in already. If
Oh
you're
wait,
that
it's
poor.
Legion mid. Okay, I've never seen a Legion mid in the competitive scene. Actually, I've only seen it, I think, once. Sorry. Yeah, I've seen it played by Miracle, the one who plays for Mineski now. He's the only player otherwise who will play a Legion Commander mid. And this is pretty good. You get a quick blink. That's just one way of catching Ghost by yourself.
Well, it looks like they're trying to go
top
for
lane.
FY, but yeah,
Yeah.
September couldn't quite get him. Got no mana now.
Oh wow, okay, so CDEC being very innovative with their draft for sure. Sep, they're gonna try and spin him down the end with the Bladefish. Actually, may not be even get the kill at all. Sep, he's gonna get away. It's only level 1.
Gosh. Oh, poor CDC, they're just under fire this game. They've had the Keeper of the Light die twice. They almost had their Kunkka dying up top. This is more or less, it seems like a setup for Vici to at least have their victory to bring this into game 2. It's like everything that's going right is going right. And it looks like they might be looking for a backstab here with DDC. Possibly looking for this Faceless Void, or unless they decide to rotate mid, but I don't see this Tinker being able to kill off this Legion regardless.
I'm starting to see the appeal behind the Legion Commander more and more because of his press the attack. So you can constantly debuff the laser charge, the laser debuff. And this way Ghost, his laser is only good as a nuke, not so much about stopping last hits. Illuminate flies out and yeah, Ghost is still holding points on whether he wants to get points into the march. They're not stacking for him just yet. The middle lane, they want to go
might
for
be in
Fab.
trouble.
Oh, the missiles doesn't... Okay, now there we go. The laser.
Very nicely done. And it looks like they're going to spot out Oct as well, October, with DDC, so that's going to force the Keeper of the Light back. Beautiful coordination coming out from Vici to already secure 3 kills under their belt. Grabbing a really nice kill, especially on the Legion of all things. I think the Legion, because we don't see this very often, teams, if they want to keep doing this mid-Legion, go ahead, but they may have to do a little bit more experimenting to sort of find out the limitations of this hero, especially up against mid. Like, who knows, we might see mid-Legion be a norm 2 weeks from now if teams decide to just try it out, play around with it a little bit more. Or maybe it's just a Chinese thing and we may never ever see it again. Who knows?
I've always thought this was just a Miracle exclusive thing, but I like this hero because when you pick it up against like Tinker, Bounty, Lion, it's actually a really good Legion Commander game. Like
Oh, Sep.
Oh no.
Oh, they caught FY in the corner.
June.
That's a free kill for June.
Wait, did he not have a tango? Okay, no, he didn't. So let's see whether June can get a couple more time locks in. Him against End is a really, really tough lane, but oh, there
That
goes
bash.
the time lock. One more. Just one more.
You can't
No,
get it.
FY's here. Stun.
Looks like June should be okay. He's got a salve, so he could just back up, pop the salve, and he'll be alright. But that's half lane though. Bit of a skirmish, if anything. But outside of that though, looks like more or less this game, there have been a couple of fights every now and again, but it's more or less a really passive laning phase. Feb receiving a little bit of harassment from the Tinker with that laser. It won't kill him, but I will say Tinker is still a threat to Feb. Even though he can get rid of this, the disarm, he will still take a lot of damage from that Tinker. And I think they need to consider killing off
Bounty to
Ghost
kill
at some
June.
point. There they go. Alright.
No, I'm just really fascinated by this Legion Commander pick because I really like the Legion Commander mid. Like, even though the scaling is not that good if you don't get these duels here and there, but it's a really good pick because there's just so many heroes you can duel this game and you can get easy kills. Like, you can stop the Blade Fury, TP out kind of thing, and easy duel damage coming out from the Bounty or the Lion, or if you find the Tinker earlier on. And you've got great ways to deal with, like, to synergize with the team. So at the same time for VG Gaming, I think they should be coming online pretty soon. Yang should be creating space for the Tinker so that he can get his boost of travel.
Yeah, Ghost has actually gone back to pick up the infused raindrop. Just to at least give himself a bit of an insurance policy if anyone tries to jump on him. Looks like top lane June in trouble again.
Yeah, he should be dead.
Oh, almost got the time walk off. If he had a split second longer, I think he would have, well, he would have survived that with a lot of HP.
Indeed, and you look at DDC.
Oh, Ghost.
He's going to rotate in. Torrent doesn't connect. Courier's going to be there, so DDC having a much easier time. But this lane is still very heavily contested because they really want to make sure that Legion Commander, or, you know, for Tinker, both of these mid laners, they don't get good farm.
Yeah, especially for the mid laners, I suppose, because as you said, both mid laners, their transition to mid game will be determined how well they do in that middle lane. And as of now, taking a look at the CS, Tinker is a little bit behind, but it's more or less an even laning phase. So it's just like both mids will have an equal opportunity to come into this mid game. I think a lot of this will boil down to who's able to help their mid more, or who's able to accomplish more, whether it's
wait,
Ghost
again.
Again?
They didn't have the finger. Wait. Oh, they had the Omni Slash. Okay, so that's where they got that burst damage from. Very unfortunate kill. June should not have died there, and like he's really close to level 6. So, and we haven't talked about the bottom lane as well. Slaughter against this Razor pick.
Oh, they're gonna try and go into DDC.
Crush.
This is level 6.
I have the Shuriken Toss.
I don't need it. Don't need it when you have amplified damage. That hurts.
Well, they did use the Shuriken Toss, so that nuke is always very trusty. DDC with one more creep should actually get. Yep, they're gonna give it to him. He's got arcane boots right now. So Young, more mana. Oh, they could actually try for a duel into Ghost.
Oh, looks like June gonna go for Chronosphere onto FY in that top lane. It's only got the Kunkka to help him out though. Torrent is still there, and it looks like they will get that kill. Lion, unfortunately, will not have a free lane and will contribute to the gold pile that's currently in June's pocket. So it's gonna be a really good time for the Void. A little bit of revenge, that was his first Chronosphere, but during every sort of early game engagement, if you're a Void, you want to be landing as many Chronosphere kills as possible. And look at End, he's getting a revenge. It's like, get out of my lane! You already did enough damage as is.
And when End went back, that lane was supposed to be for the Lion to get his level 6. But now, that's not very likely for a while. It's going to be delayed, but he should be getting it after this creep wave. Middle lane, however, Feb needs to be careful. Yeah, he's not going to take the bait. Bounty Hunters off the lane, they could go for a kill here. And actually, will they refill his bottle? Yes, they will. Still haven't seen a deal. The X mark into the deal from Feb could be pretty big if they can get it.
Yeah, Feb he's not in the best position to try and go for a dual kill here. If there's any sort of backup and he tries to go for a duel, pretty sure Feb wouldn't really be a happy camper. Although top lane June doesn't look like he's going to be too happy either. 60 seconds on the Chronosphere, doesn't even have mana. It looks like October's going to be in the back lines, just going for a couple of Illuminates to slow it down.
Oh, but Lion.
Although it looks like they may have found the Lion.
October should be dying here, and of course, so much nuke. Slaughter bottom lane does Well, actually, no, not bottom lane. I mean, he kills the Kunkka at the side. So, VG Gaming stepping up the pace already from 8 minutes and it's 10 to 2. Still waiting for Feb to, come online. Maybe a blink or maybe at least phase boot so he can run up to people. And they will go for a smoke gank. So, oh no, he's dead.
Looks like he's
Actually, maybe not.
He knows something's up.
They haven't
Unless
shown
Yang
themselves.
finds him. Oh no, he's gone to the jungle. Oh, this is going to be
Crush.
the end. He tries to buff himself, but is that going to be enough? Do they have the damage? They have the Finger of Death if they need to use it, but FY just saves it. They don't need it. So that's going to be a Finger of Death for another day.
You're not worthy to be fingered by FY like that. So,
Omni Slash top lane. Oh, poor September.
he's dead. Alright, so N getting himself a kill. This has been a very, very quiet Kunkka game. He hasn't found the X mark initiations. You look at VG Gaming, the way they've just they're always keeping this middle lane really, really pushed out. They even get a nice ward down. Or this could actually be a kill to keep off the light if Tinker goes for the missile.
I will say that a lot of these ganks are happening because there's a huge...
FY can solo kill October. Oh, he's just leeching EXP. Come on, go for it. You want to do it?
No, he's just going to hang on to it. There's a huge level discrepancy if you take a look at all the support levels though. It's level 4 on the Keeper and level 4 on the Kunkka. That's the CDEC supports up against a level 7 Lion.
He's looking for the deal. FY wants to get the deal. Do you have an X mark on somebody? They do find him. Yep, deal. There we go. Plus 10. Winner, winner. And it's such a pity they didn't manage to kill FY. And somehow FY is still alive. I thought he would have died a bit earlier, but very unfortunate. So now they would just kind of group up. Maybe get some chip damage into the mid T1. Tinker's going to get that Boots of Travel in just a bit. He needs 400 more gold. He's just clearing stacks. Or clearing jungle.
Can I push this middle tower? They don't really have the best heroes for pushing if you think about it. The only one that can effectively push the tower would be the Legion Commander. Because unfortunately for November, as a Razor, before you get the Aghanim Scepter, tower pushing is a complete nightmare because he doesn't have the best physical damage output. He's not a hero that actually builds physical damage. He builds in a way so that he's tanky and steals damage from his opponents. So if there's no Legion with the tower push, I don't see them being able to take the towers.
Oh, the scan. Nicely done from VG Gaming. They saw that CDEC wanted to go in. The smoke gank. So I don't think he's going to get a deal onto DDC as DDC is going to look to break that smoke. Haven't really shown themselves just yet. They put down these wards. It's not going to give them much vision on anybody. But bottom lane, Juggernaut will get himself a tower and Tinker's going to show off his fancy new Boots of Travel.
So for this game, it looks like it's a complete turnaround of the last game. It's VG that's going to be in control of the momentum. And it's going to be up to CDEC to either catch up or to somehow outsmart VG into a position where the game starts to flatten out a little bit more. And poor Sep, if he gets caught out, might not be happy days here for the Kunkka. The rest of his team is not too far away, but he will just quickly snag the regen, and they want to go for some revenge.
For Chrono. The Chrono's gonna land to 2 heroes. Nicely done. Another ship's gonna come as well from Sep. It's gonna land to 2 heroes. Big hit. And it's gonna be 2 instant kills with the deal damage going to February as well. Nicely done from CDEC. Beautiful Chrono as well. Making use of the tree vision actually to initiate like that without Yang noticing. So very, very scary thing. Tinker still needs a Blink Dagger before he can farm more aggressively. And space for Feb as he needs his Blink Dagger so he can at least try for deals onto the Tinker.
So the ward's paying off for CDEC. And they might actually be able to find more. Oh, he walks onto a sentry. This is not where you want to be if you're a bounty hunter. He's going to try and outrun it, but here comes Feb.
No
he
duel.
Doesn't have a duel,
They have the
but
nuke.
they've got detection.
Oh, they should have saved it for Feb. That would have been really, really good if they had given the Blink Dagger kill to him. So N gonna build into a Diffusal Blade, it seems.
Okay. Looks like they're trying to find a kill in the bottom lane here for Vici. They've got End as well as FY, but there's no one down here. It's just a complete ghost town, and instead they decide to smoke. Now I'm wondering if
Roshan.
anyone on CDC, if they were watching that bottom lane, they may have seen the smoke animation, but doesn't seem to be the case. Just going to be a Roshan here.
Yeah, they can do Rosh. They have the healing ward, they have the amplified damage. Yeah, this should be a very, very easy Rosh, unless CDC...
Unless CDEC smell it out. I don't think they can. They don't really seem to be in the best spot unless the Keeper of the Light checks it out real quick.
And they have October to call someone in, even if someone is across the map. And June, yeah, they can call him in, but he doesn't have the Chronosphere. He just completed his Vladimir's offering, and they will just go back to farming. So VG Gaming actually get themselves a free sneaky Roche.
There's extra gold, Aegis to boot. Does VG consider pushing with this Aegis now, or are they still in a place where they want to just take it nice and slow and finish up some items? I think they're good to go now. I don't really see any cool items that
Blink Dagger
mean
and
they
Tinker.
need to wait.
You want the Blink Dagger onto him. Juggernaut, wait for him to complete his Diffusal Blade. He's just 300 gold shy. So with these two items coming up into VG, they can push more confidently. Especially when you were going up against the Chronosphere from the Faceless Void. Like, so far, he's been on point, and he doesn't even have a Blink Dagger yet. Alright. And it's really hard to push into the Illuminate as well. Look at all the nuke damage, and immediately brought below 50% HP.
That hurts. That actually hurts quite a bit, Plasma Field. That's... Okay, here we go. Blink is done on the Tinker, and November moves forward. September comes forward, goes for a dust on the DDC, but that's going to be a dead Conquer. Oh.
It's such a pity. That wasn't a track kill, I think. Yeah, it wasn't a track kill.
No. They used the track on November. If they were able to just sort of hang on to that, they would have been a track kill. But it looks like that may have just deterred the push for a little bit, although 30-second death timer, not really that bad.
They're going to keep on going. They go blinking all the way in, getting the crush into November, but it's going to be purged off. So, VG Gaming, this is a very, very awkward push. If anything, they could get the push, but it's going to be really, really slow. And you look at June, he's trying to go sneaky deaky all the way into the trees or Chrono. But VG Gaming will back off, realizing that, okay, we don't want to fight into the Chrono, but they will use it right now into DDC. Oh no, and the Torn flies out. He dies here. Keeper of the Light getting a nice kill. So, alright, October gets more ward money. Oh, they don't know that the ward's there.
Oh, they don't know the ward's there?
Or they have an idea that there's vision, but they couldn't get the D ward. The sentry's too far away.
Yeah, I see it too. That's unfortunate, because that ward has a decent duration left on it as well, so they will spot out rotations coming out from CDEC if they maybe want to go into the jungle, or maybe if they want to try and go for a sneak around the back. That is a really popular smoke spot too.
And you look at Feb, he chose to go for an armlet over the Blink Dagger, so he's not so worried about initiation. He just wants more damage. Smoke rotation coming out. Ooh. Oh, they might find somebody. Razor, not like this! The crush, the amplify. They have the finger. Yep, finger, shuriken toss, DDC. The missiles will not be cleaning it off. It will be Young who gets the kill. That's a track kill. And Feb, to follow him into the grave, will not be able to armlet toggle while you're a fishy fish. So that's gonna be 4 heroes middle lane happily showing themselves after the smoke. And they will get themselves a mid tier 1 going the way of VG Gaming.
That was a mistake coming up from Feb. If he just left that engagement instead of trying to use the press the attack to save the Razor, he would have been fine, but because he tried to stay and tried to save his ally, he ends up losing his life too, which, if you're CDEC, you can't really afford to lose either the Razor or Legion, and Huddle is going to be free. It's all good. Just TP home. Stay calm and TP home.
He gets a casual bracer for now. Not sure whether it's going to be built into drums, but it's going to give him a bit more HP so that he can tank through, especially since you look at how much nuke they have on the side of VG Gaming. Like, they're really, really strong right now. And now they're going to try and just keep this push, constantly push back out. We're back to step 1. No Chronosphere for 20 seconds. You look at VG Gaming, they don't really have the vision around that area. And neither do CDEC. So, we'll see what Ghost can do. May have to cut the trees from Feb. And go straight for a duel into the Tinker.
Looks like they're going to put Yan in a position to try and go for initiation.
Or into November. And actually, no, it doesn't cancel the blink. Now we find a Chrono into 3 heroes. Feb actually dies in the Chrono Sphere. The ship is going to land, only cancelling off the Aegis. FY, the time dilation is actually going to be slowed up. But it looks like they will be forced to back off. No LC, no more damage, no more spells to throw out. And CDEC, yeah, they just have to give up the tier 2.
That was a nice Chronosphere, but it was so unfortunate for the Legion Commander. Chronosphere got popped, and she literally walked into the Chrono by just the tiniest bit. And because, obviously, Legion is locked down under the Chronosphere, gets shot down by the Tinker, And yeah, he killed the Juggernaut, but as you said, he has Aegis. He really doesn't give a damn. He's just going to come back. He's going to be able to just reload and go again. So for CDEC, that was a really good chrono, but without the Legion, they really don't have the follow-up to kill heroes quickly enough.
And there's really no way for them to properly initiate. That's why not going for the Blink Dagger, going for the Armlet. It's just so unfortunate that she walked into the Chronosphere, so that you look at Juggernaut, very lucky to get the Omni Slash off, just like that. So looking at net worth graph, over a 10k net worth advantage for VG Gaming, EXP wise over 5,000. When you look at the itemization for both sides, FY not yet to a blink. He's very close though, very close. And with all these Blink Daggers around, I actually am curious how CDEC can take a fight.
I really don't see them being able to take a fight unless they can somehow get a miraculous 3, 4, 5-man chrono coming out from June, which I really don't see that happening. Positioning-wise, Vici have been very on point, and it looks like they've managed to find out where this poor keeper is, and he just gets tracked up, eaten up, and sent off to the bank to get melted off into a bar of gold.
Probably wanted to go and place like a Tinker Ward or something. But you look at Ghost, itemization wise, he's gonna get that Aghanim Scepter very soon, and that's where things get super scary for CDEC. No Blink Daggers as it is. How are you gonna catch a Tinker throwing out all that damage output? Whew. This is like I said, this is a good game to be a Tinker.
Exactly, and the Legion pick originally, as you said, was picked up because Pressy Attack can get rid of the blind. You can only purge that off one person, whereas if you grab this Aghanims on this Tinker, that's going to bounce onto multiple heroes. So all of a sudden, your Legion commander that ended up trying to be a solution will only be the solution for one person, which is more or less going to be himself. Because if he can't purge off the disarm, yeah, I guess you could purge it off of the face or the Razor, but the only person that's effectively using that time would be the Legion commander himself.
Just for the fight, I would say the only way you execute this right now is while you duel the Tinker with the Legion commander, you need to chrono the backline. So this is what your Void needs to do. So they're laying down an ambush, a potential ambush, for whoever goes to the top lane. Middle lane, you look at VG Gaming, kind of grouped up. Oh, another pause. Yeah, June's just at the bottom lane to push it out. Yeah, he's going for Diffusal, but he's actually just ignoring the blink. It's like CDEC should be going for these Blink Daggers, but they just don't want to.
That might be the downfall of the team, unfortunately. They need that initiation. So, for example, if the Void can't initiate, who's the backup initiator? It can't be the Legion. She has to walk in to initiate, which 20 minutes in, walking in is a huge liability to herself as well as the team. Because it means that Feb can get jumped on by himself by the, for example, the Tinker, or even the Slaughter can just bounce onto him again.
Execution
so it's like it is, because they're putting everything onto June's shoulders, and I feel like this is too much pressure to give to one player to perform.
This is something which the Chinese teams, like at least which I observe from the teams, that they do like to put a lot of emphasis on these initiation heroes, which is why sometimes you see them stacking Ancients is always for like an axe, or you start stacking and you think it's going to the core in the middle lane or the carry, but it's always going to the offlaner, because that's just pretty much how the meta is in China right now, where your offlaner is the one he's going to get farm priority for at least the first 10 minutes. And in this case right now, it's really paying off. The quick Blink Dagger on Slaughter has helped VG Gaming find this really fast-paced momentum. He's almost on a BKB 20 minutes in with the Blink Dagger and Treads. When you look at the side of CDEC, like we talked about, we mentioned several times, they just don't have any way to initiate at all. And the only way they can take fights right now is if VG Gaming run into their faces, and that's how you get good chronos.
Yeah, running into faces, I don't see that happening for Vici. Vici have just been very spectacular with their positioning as well as execution of these fights. Just every single time they know what they should be doing. They find the right targets. Maybe the culprit here is that there's all these observer wards on the map, and CDEC, yeah, they're trying to deward them, but they're not quite getting them. Sort of feels like maybe CDEC has to invest in a gem to get rid of this vision, because vision has been king for Vici as of now. Because it's not just the wards, but it's also the bounty effect where DDC, he just walks around the map, helps the starter spot out a target, and all of a sudden you get free gold. It's just the vision's too good.
Indeed, all these D wards just so crazy. You can't farm the ancients, you can't farm the hard camps safely without VG Gaming knowing. Alright.
Okay.
Was that a potty break? Nah, I think it should have probably just been a PC problem or something. Alright, and actually thanks to Modpacks who helped me get rid of that stun bar thing. I'm not sure if you saw the update where the stun bar is... It really triggers you. Alright, 3-man smoke coming up from VG Gaming. They will bait with the Juggernaut down the middle lane, forcing CDC to show themselves.
Aghanim's completed on the Tinker now, so you're going to be seeing bouncing lasers, 4 rockets. It's going to be crazy.
And June is just like, it's too good to be true, no thank you.
Now this is VG expecting the Void to try and go for this Chrono here. It would be ideal, but his team is not even home. Take a look up top. Legion is behind the Razor that's pushing this top T1. This is the first T1 of the game as well for CDEC, so very late T1. Their T2 gets taken middle. They've only got 1 T2 left. And it looks like, yeah, VG, they're going to retreat, but they're just going to start taking these towers back. They're not really in a hurry to finish this game because they have the far superior draft and net worth. I look at the net worth discrepancy. The highest net worth is the Razor on the side of CDEC, and that's 7.5k net worth. The lowest net worth on the core on VG is 8k. If you look at the highest, that's 13k. That is enormous compared to what CDEC have on their cores.
Oh no, DDC just a bit slower. You can break the smoke. He will not be breaking the smoke, but CDEC now all smoked up, looking for a kill. Colo's already in the front. They may be able to find DDC. Not the ideal hero. And actually, yes, it's going to break the smoke. He will run away right now. Now looking for a Chrono June. The dust not going to be there. DDC run for the hills. Torrent's going to land, but not onto DDC. The dust did connect into DDC. So he's just going to steal the double damage rune, and he actually breaks the smoke and wastes it for CDEC. Nicely done on his part. So VG Gaming get out of there without losing anybody.
That was so good. Everyone just dispersing, Lion blinking out, as well as the bounty blinking out. Not even blinking out, it's just getting out of there to begin with. Now, while that was happening, there's a BKB picked up onto Yang, so all of a sudden there is nothing to fear outside of the Chronosphere and possibly a duel for the Slaughter. It means that he's going to be left untouched. It's going to be such a problem out for CDEC because their main control, they don't want to use it on just a Slaughter, they want to use it on the backlines, but they might be forced to kill that Slaughter first because he's been a huge pain in the backside for CDEC.
Tinker's gonna get an Ether Lens now, so that's where things get even scarier for him. Don't forget, Ether Lens gives you an extra tiny bit of damage, and at the same time, he's gonna be casting those lasers and missiles from a very far range. And CDEC, well, they do have one tiny solution to finding him now, and that's with the Legion Commander who just picked up the Blink Dagger. And they are looking for Ghost, but Ghost, well, out of harm's way. No way for you to initiate like that.
They need lane wards if they're going to try and catch out the Tinker. He's such an elusive target, and if he spots you out, he's just going to blink on out of there. And you better be right with your blink, otherwise you're going to be missing a huge opportunity.
Oh, they find June the finger.
Dying. Oh, rip.
There was a Faceless Void. Just not anymore.
For June. He's had a really tough game as the Faceless Void.
The counters. There's too much disable on the side of VG.
Oh, Feb might get sandwiched in if they can somehow spot him out. He's going to TP out safe. But he was literally between 2 dire heroes. There was the 2 farming the camp here, and then there was also the Tinker that TP'd to the T1. It's rather unfortunate that they missed that opportunity.
Risky farming, so making use of that observer on the cliff, which VG Gaming actually do not know that it's there. And now looking to DDC to try and provide a bit more intel. The sentry ward did scout him out, so they know that the bounty is in their jungle. Now they will try for another smoke. Yeah, they want to go straight for the Juggernaut. They're going for that camp. And needs to run right now. Is that going to be a Lincoln Sphere, or is that going to be like an Eye of Skadi on your Juggernaut?
On the Jug, Lincoln sounds attractive, but as of now, I don't think it's possible to kill the Jug if he picks up
Oh,
the
Vici.
Scotty.
Hold on, FY. Smoked it. He blinked in. Oh, wait, that's a complete mishap. And right now, the duel into DDC. Can they kill him off? Feb needs it, but the laser saving him and the mech. Oh no, 2 kills going the way of VG Gaming. They will look for a bit more. Looking for the crush. TP's out just at the very last second. And looking to October to run away. The missile still connects onto his old ass and he will just run back. No Chronosphere, not today. That was really risky play. You look at FY, he blinked into the Roche pit. He just wanted to put a wall down. But when he blinked in, they thought that there was a bounty hunter nearby. So they just went all the way straight up, which was very misleading. So a bit of, I would say, a bit of luck going the way to VG.
Just a matter of convenience, to say the least. So, Roche, again, going into the pockets of Vici. This is going to be the second Roche of the game. So after this, it's going to be Roche with Cheese. I think we sort of have to question, are we going to see a third Roche? Because the Skadi gets picked up on the Jug, which means he's insanely tanky. He's also going to have access to a slow. And I think with this amount of HP and armor, I don't think CDEC can physically kill the Juggernaut at all. Even within a Chrono and they throw everything at him, I don't see him dying.
Unless you get the Razor who gets a really good static link off. It is level 4, so don't forget he steals an insane amount of damage. But the positioning game is going to be very tough.
Oh, and he goes forward. He's going to go straight onto
No.
Sep. He died so quick.
He can't find
as
the duel.
well.
Oh, Feb,
Oh.
in between all these heroes, looks like he may just die here. The finger's gonna come out. Now we see a Chronosphere, but will go down to the Tinker anyway. And all the damage being stolen, November will still die anyway. So 3-for-1 trade, and a GG will be called. The Crush to follow it up to rub salt to injury, and it'll be a team wipe on the side of CDEC as Vici Gaming taking back Game 2 by storm, and we will see a Game 3, Danelie.
So it was like a completely different game. It was like CDEC was in the same position as Vici Gaming in Game 1. I don't know if this might just be me, but maybe it was you as well. The interesting draft coming out from CDEC, they picked up the Legion. I think we only ever saw 2 successful duels, and that was it. Do you feel like maybe the Legion, maybe pulling the team back in terms of what they tried to bring to the table with it? Because it just seemed like at every point in the game, it doesn't matter what they did, nothing worked.
For me, it also is because of the itemization. Like, it limited so hard what they could do. It felt like CDEC weren't on the same page with the draft, and they're almost like wings, you know, like you draft super special, and then you're like, oh wait, okay, maybe you drafted too special, and this draft backfires against us. And they forgot about, I think they even actually forgot about the Tinker. So this is just a really awkward game. Like, Razor had such good farm in the bottom lane, but because they couldn't kill Yang got a very quick blink dagger and they just found the momentum, and next thing you know, VG Gaming just stormed through Game 2 very easily. But anyways guys, that'll be Game 3. That'll be Game 2. We'll be back for Game 3 shortly. See you guys in a jiffy.